Alright boys, I want to talk about the trap that I think most SMMA owners fall into, and before I go into this, what gives me credibility to talk about this, well, not only have I scaled 3 of my own agencies past 6 figures each single one of them, but I've also helped over 700 plus other individuals start and scale their agencies, and currently partner up and work with SMMA agency owners to scale their agencies past 10K a month and beyond. Okay, like right now, one of my guys, Gio, just hit 8K in 11 days, Welter just collected 9K in 14 days, Josh booked like 30 appointments in like his first week of cold calling and collected 2.5K in the first 3 days, and thousands of other testimonials that you see in all my other videos where I'm sharing my screen, but I can't now because I'm talking to you here like this. But I want to share with you some of the most common pitfalls that I've noticed, and I guess some of the biggest traps that most of these SMMA owners fall into. So the first one is not having clarity. And so one of the biggest issues in entrepreneurship as a whole is that there's nothing guaranteed. There's nothing promised or certain about entrepreneurship, right? As a matter of fact, entrepreneurship in and of itself is uncertain. There's no guarantee, right? It's probably one of the most uncertain career paths you could get into. And so if you don't have certainty and conviction on what you're doing, you will subtly start to subconsciously doubt yourself. And I see this all the time. It's one of the biggest pitfalls of not just SMMA owners, but entrepreneurs as a whole, is this slow little seed in the back of your mind of doubt, right? Of doubting yourself, right? Of slowly telling yourself, maybe you can't do this, maybe you can't do that. It affects your tonality, it affects the way you move, it affects you as a whole. It'll even affect some of your work ethic. And so having that mental clarity and that conviction on what it is you're doing is one of the most crucial things. You see, in business, there's constantly new opportunities flying around 24/7 all of the time, right? There's always new opportunities. And if you do not have conviction and certainty in the thing that you're doing, you will switch left, right, and center 24,000 times, right? And probably even more than that. And when you constantly switch, you keep bringing yourself back to level 0, back to level 0, back to level 0, and you restart and you restart and you restart, and you never let yourself get good enough to actually see a business through. And so having conviction and confidence is one of the most crucial skills. I even notice it in my own businesses. The businesses where I have the most conviction in are the ones I stick to longest, and the ones I stick to longest are the ones I typically have the most success in. And I've seen this amongst all the partners and people I've worked with, coached, and consulted as well. So the business you stick with is the one that typically makes you the most money. Okay. The second, one of the biggest pitfalls and one of the most common traps I see is people not focusing on their product. I'm currently with a few guys who make anywhere from $20,000 to $40,000 a month with their agencies, and one of the things I can just tell about these guys is that their product is good. They have a phenomenal product, right? Now granted, there's a lot of other things they're really good at. As a matter of fact, they're good at everything, right? But one of the commonalities I see amongst people who repetitively scale past those 10 and 20K months is their ability to have a good product, their ability to deliver good client results. Because what does it do when you have a good product? Well, when you have a good product, the product markets itself. Your customers will market for you. But what will also happen when you have a good product is you will have now more social proof and more case studies and more conviction when it comes to marketing. And so you want to market more often because you feel good about marketing, because you know what you have is good. And so you feel good about sharing it with people. And also your message now becomes better, right? Your message becomes better because now you have more proof, more data, and more conviction with your message. And so your marketing becomes more effective. When your marketing becomes more effective, you book more calls, right? And you book more calls with prospects who actually want to work with you, right? Because these people have seen all the data, they've seen the results, and they're actually excited to hop on this call. So your show rate goes up. Right, your indoctrination goes up because people are curious about the content you're putting out. People hop on the call, and because you have data, because you have conviction, because you have a product that's actually good, you feel good in selling it. So instead of feeling like a scammer for pitching your product, you feel good about selling. You actually feel like you're doing someone a service. You're serving them by giving them the opportunity to buy your product and partner with you. And so what happens? Your sales goes up. Your objections go down, your sales goes up, your cash collection goes up. What does that mean? You get more customers. Well, more customers gives you more data, gives you more feedback. So what does that allow you to do? It allows you to develop your product even further. Okay? Now, the thing I want to tie in here, it seems almost counterintuitive, but it's not, is that in the beginning, you have to focus on your product, but not as much as you focus on appointment setting. Because appointment setting is the lifeblood of your company. It is literally the breath in your lungs. It is the heartbeat of your company. And so if you do not have appointments on the calendar, you do not have breath in your lungs, you don't have a heartbeat in your heart. And we all know if you didn't have a heart beating, well, you would die, right? And so what often happens is a lot of people understand that maybe product is good, but in order to make a good product, you need users. In order to get users, we need to decrease the friction for people buying our product. And this is one of the best and one of the other most common pitfalls I'll get into now Because a lot of SMA owners have really high ego or really high pride, and they think they're really entitled. And so one of the biggest problems I see, and one of the biggest traps a lot of people can fall into, is this egotistical approach to scaling a business where they think they're worth something when they haven't proved it. Instead of talking the talk, walk the walk. Instead of saying you're the best, show you're the best. Show these people how good you truly are, and you can only do that with results. You can only get results if you have clients. If you have no clients, no results, the only way to get clients is to decrease the friction so much that people are willing to join. And with that, you get experience. With that, you can get good. And then you can scale. And then you can take off. The next, one of the other most common things, and one of the next things I want to talk about is your environment. Right? Your environment literally creates you who you are. I mean, think about back to a baby. Right, the environment you were born in, the family that you were a part of, the household you were a part of, the friends that you had around you, right, the language you spoke. Like if you were born in the Netherlands, for example, you would probably speak Dutch. If you were born in India, you'd probably speak one of the Indian languages, right, like Hindi, for example. Right, if you were born in Germany, right, you would probably speak German. Right, that your environment literally creates who you are. Right, even if you think of a typical Swedish person, what do they look like? Blonde hair, blue eyes. Your environment creates you who you are. And so if you have to make sure your environment is optimized for your success, right? And when I say environment, I mean your mental and your physical and your spiritual environment. I'm not just talking about where you live. Well, that's very important, is where you live and the people that you surround yourself with. But I'm also talking about mentally. Right? Even your workspace environment, is your desk super cluttered, or is it very minimalistic? Right, which one is it? Right, is your head, is it very cluttered or is it very organized? Right, like having this clarity, once again, it comes back to this, your environment will help you bring clarity. When you have clarity, you can take action. Right, clarity is one of the biggest things a lot of people lack. That's, I think, why there's so many of these SMMA mentors and gurus, right? Because they're needed. You need clarity, and that's why every coach has a coach, because everyone needs someone to guide them. And the people that don't are the ones that are stupid. Back in December, I spent, I think, around $4,000 on a mentor to help me out, right? Because I needed that guidance, I needed that clarity, I needed that conviction, I needed someone to answer my questions for me, right? And money is multiplied, it's not made. So you have to use your money to make more money, right? I mean, fundamentally, that's how it works, right? That's literally what investing is in the first place, okay? But those are some of the common pitfalls I see with a lot of people. A lot of people I talk to on a day-to-day basis. I talk to hundreds of SMMA owners. Those are some of the very common ones. Another one is they don't learn anything. They don't learn new skills. They almost act as if they don't run a business. When you run a business, that's all you think about. You eat, breathe, sleep business. All you're constantly worrying about is how can I be better? How can I make more money? How can I get my clients better results? And you're constantly looking for ways to improve. A lot of people take business as kind of like a side hustle. Like it's just kind of something on the side. If you want to do this for real, you have to do it for real. You can't just do it as like nilly-willy, I'll try it out. That's not how this business works. It's not something you just try out. It's something you have to commit wholeheartedly to. And if you can do that, it'll be difficult. It'll be difficult and it'll be hard. But on a long enough time horizon, it'll allow you to do cool things. That's the beauty of it. Right? And if it wasn't hard, would it really be worth doing? So if it was easy, everybody would do it. And if everyone would do it, would it really be that cool anymore? Imagine if everyone around you, like I don't know if you can see the roads. Imagine if everyone drove a Lamborghini. Would it be cool to drive a Lamborghini? Well, no, because everyone has one. It's like driving a Toyota. You don't feel cool driving a Honda Civic around. Right, or a Toyota Camry. You don't feel like the top G doing that, but you would feel like the top G in a Lambo or a Ferrari or an R8 or a McLaren, right? Why is that? Because it's hard to get, and people know that because it costs a lot of money. Most people don't have the money, and therefore if you have that, they assume you have the money, and they know the money's hard to make, so they go, wow, that's cool, and therefore it's valuable, right? So there you go. Those are some of the thoughts I've thought of over the past little bit, working with a lot of people and helping them out. So I hope that kind of gives you maybe some insight on stuff maybe you're doing wrong, and hopefully gives you some value and some things you can kind of think about to apply. If you have any questions or anything do you want clarity on, just comment down below and ask me. I respond to every comment. Okay, I'm not a guru. I'm not a self-proclaimed marketing genius or whatnot, right? I'm just some guy who found a way to make some money online, and I'll share my lessons in hopes I can inspire you and maybe even partner with you in the future. Okay, so comment down below if you have any questions. Otherwise, go enjoy your day, go tackle it. I gotta go jump on a call, because that's what we do. And peace.